projects. That's on page 22. Page 23 says local government autonomy, federal government as dragging state to court. The federal government are dragging states to court. This is coming from Okukwe. That's on page 23 to page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune. Electricity tariff hike. Most universities will become bankrupt. This is coming from Uniben Vice Chancellor. And finally, the story I will be taking for your listening pleasure says how government policies, infrastructure deficit threatens Nigeria's $6.5 billion beer markets. That's on page 6. The writer says why capital markets may not be the way out. This is coming from experts, and that's all you find on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune for this morning. Still on the front page of the newspapers for this morning, I am with the Punch newspaper. Federal government withdraws 5 oil blocks from 2024 bid rounds. That's on page 34. Page 34 has that. Page 33 says Senate resume probe as AGF submits 30 trillion naira loan documents. To page 2, Jakpa outrage as United Kingdom-based driver remains on federal government payroll. That's on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Now to the main story: import duty, bank plane grounded as the federal government clamps down on private jets. Import duty, bank plane grounded as federal government clamps down on private jets. That's on page 33. The writer says aircraft stopped from flying over alleged 1.9 billion naira unpaid import duties. Details, you'd have to pick a copy of the Punch newspaper for this morning. United States, United Nations condemn Borno bombing. Tinubu vows to crush Boko Haram. That's also on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Now to the bottom side of the paper. Police guard Rivers Hospital treating explosion suspects. That's on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. To page 4 and 5, the suspected headers attack Ogun rice farmer suspected headers hack Ogun rice farmer to death. That's a sad report, sad one right there. And CCN repairs plunge Ondo Ekiti to 2-month blackout. TCN repairs plunge Ondo Ekiti to 2-month blackout. That's on page 34 of the Punch newspaper. The Vanguard newspaper is up next, and it says Brano attack, Tinubu vows to deal with perpetrators. That's on page 9. And agony as federal government retirees grown under 230 billion naira pension arrears. That's on page 20. And some of the writers have this to say: no payments made for over a year. Legally binding upward review suspended for 15 years. Stakeholders call for boycott of government securities. And the final one says regular dialogue pressure from labor required. This is coming from Pen Up. This is all this headline you find on page 20 of the Vanguard newspaper for this morning. Away from that to page 37, why I want Southeast governors to work together. This is coming from Peter Obi. And on page 12, Nigeria is still using 1966-67 map for survey. This is coming from Surveys. Details, pick a copy of the Vanguard newspaper. Page 22 says exit of multinationals, opportunity for local industry. This is coming from MAN. That is the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Okay, that's on page 22. To another story that made some other papers, and it's right here on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, talking about electricity. Band A disclose monthly revenue raises to 42.29% to 142.92 billion naira. That's on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. And now in the world of sports, sports minister said to wield the big stick if you want to know the reason, and this is in respect to the upcoming FIFA World Cup. That's on page 38. Page 38 has this detail for that report. Do well to pick a copy of the Vanguard newspaper for this morning. Now to Daily Trust newspaper. NESG backs CBN's stoppage of rice verification system on Forex. Do well to pick a copy of Daily Trust newspaper. Away from that, Governor Rada queries Katsina Emir, and tells do well to pick a copy of Daily Trust newspaper. Cybercrime Act, despite amendment, clamp down on journalists persist. Despite amendment, clamp down on journalists persist, and it says 25 reporters face persecution ceases to practice. Police, federal government, presidency, keep quiet, presidency mom. Well, details of all this, do well to pick a copy of the Daily Trust newspaper, and it's on page 4. And then you have a picture showing the timeline of some of the arrest, detention, and harassment of journalists. Details, it's all on the front page and inside the Daily Trust newspaper. The Guardian newspaper is up next. Our currency commoditization. Empty ATMs dot metropolis as bank trade cash with POS operators. Empty ATMs dot metropolis as bank trade cash with POS operators. Details are on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Refineries to begin operations before January. Senate assures. That's on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Mayhem looms in North over hardship. Lukman warns. That's on page 45 of the Guardian newspaper. How Buhari government failed to recover $69 billion looted funds. You want to know who made the statement, who alleged? Do well to pick a copy of the Vanguard newspaper and flip over to page 6. Handless communal conflict, worsen food insecurity, hunger in Cross River. That's on page 4. And talking about the Gwosa suicide attacks, Tinubu month vows justice as death roll rises to 23. And do well to pick a copy of the Guardian newspaper. Flip over to page 6 of the paper. Now to the Metro page. NDLEA nabbed 60 in Abuja drug party. Destroys 18,632 kg of cannabis in Edo Forest. That's on Metro page 13 of the Guardian newspaper. Do well to pick a copy. It's details, it's all in the Guardian newspaper. And that's all I can give you on the front page of the Guardian newspaper for this morning. Don't forget that we are live on Facebook at Erie 96.1 FM Ibadan. That's our Facebook handle. Do well to follow us and drop your comments. And now the full segment is over on the Morning Rush. And the first segment, I have given you stories that made the front page of the Guardian newspaper, the Daily Trust newspaper, the Vanguard newspaper, the Punch, Nigerian Tribune, and that's all there is for this morning. Where we're going to break right now. When we come back, we'll be going into these newspapers and giving you stories that are in the newspapers. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. The Morning Rush still continues on Erie 96.1 FM.
Erie 96.1 FM. We are the king.
Ó tún ti yá ò ní ṣe bí ọba headquarters. Ìpàdé àdúrà ńlá ọlọ́dọọdún. Ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ Gádàrà 2024. Ó dàpọ̀ mọ́ Bethsaida 123. Oṣù keje July.
Ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ Gádàrà 2024. Ó dé. Ìpàdé àdúrà ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kan lọ́dún tó máa ń mì gbogbo ìlú jìgìjìgì ní ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ Gádàrà. I must be free làkórí ìtọ́dún yìí o. Èrù kẹ̀tíkẹ̀tí ó ní ní ṣe bí ọba níbi tọ́lọ́run ti ń jẹ́rìí ara ẹ̀. Ara ọ̀tọ̀ tó ní ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ Gádàrà tọdún yìí o. Ó dàpọ̀ mọ́ pàdé àdúrà olóṣooṣù ni. Bethsaida 123 tó oṣù keje July ọdún yìí. Monday July 1 ló ń bẹ̀rẹ̀. Títí wọ Sunday July 7 ọdún yìí. Àṣálẹ́ Friday July 5 ní sóòrù ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gádàrà pẹ̀lú apọ́sù. Sunday July 7 gángan ní ìpàdé àdúrà ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gádàrà. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ láago 8 òwúrọ̀. Ó yá ní ṣebí ọba headquarters. Ṣebí ọba bus stop Gbádébù Ìdíòmì airport area Alákíá Ìbàdàn. His Eminence Apostle Dr. S.M.O. Mustapha JP. Bàbá ṣebí ọba lólùgbàlejò àgbà. Agbára ìràpadà máa mú wọn náà ṣebí ọba. Wàá gba ìtúsílẹ̀ pátápátá. Jésù retí rẹ̀ máa bọ̀ kájọ pàdé níbẹ̀.
You are locked into Erie 96.1 FM, the majestic station that rules the sound waves.
Erie 96.1 FM, we are the king.
Welcome back from the break. If you're just tuning in, this is Erie 96.1 FM, and we are opposite the Nigerian Television Authority, Agodi Gate, Ibadan. We are live on Facebook at Erie 96.1 FM Ibadan. The number to call if you want to join the conversation this morning and share happenings in your community, lend your thoughts on things happening in Nigeria, do well to call 090 5696 9961 090 5696 9961. Now the second segment of the morning rush has started, and this is where we go into the newspapers and give you stories in these newspapers. The first paper I have in front of me is the Punch newspaper, and the first story I will be taking from the paper says Senate resumes probe as AGF submits 30 trillion naira loan documents. The Senate panel probing the 30 trillion naira Ways and Means loan secured from the Godwin Emefiele-led Central Bank of Nigeria by the federal government has received more documents from the Office of the Accountant General. As a result, the panel is set to resume physical sitting after studying the document. The panel had written to the OAGF seeking additional documents to deepen its probe of the controversial 30 trillion naira loan obtained by the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. However, multiple sources who spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak on the matter confirmed that the documents arrived at the National Assembly on Thursday. Also confirming the development, the chairman of the panel, Senator Isia Jubri of APC Kogi East, said the AGF had sent the document to the National Assembly. He added that Nigerians can be assured that they will ensure due diligence and see that they do not let Nigerians down. And on Tuesday, February 20, the Senate resolved to investigate the 30 trillion naira loan, citing that the alleged reckless spending of the overdrafts from the Central Bank of Nigeria largely contributed to the current food and security crisis in the country. And after its inauguration, the panel identified 13 infractions allegedly committed in the process of obtaining the loan from the Central Bank of Nigeria. Responding to media reports, Jubrin clarified that the figures under investigation were not in dispute and showing proof of the letter sent to the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. Jubrin said, and I quote, "We only needed additional documents from the Accountant General Office to continue the interface. The amount under probe is 30 trillion naira. I don't know why people are spreading falsehood to achieve a selfish purpose." End of quote. Well, to get more details of this story, do well to pick a copy of the Punch newspaper, and the headline says Senate resumes probe as AGF submits 30 trillion naira loan document, and this is in the Punch newspaper for this morning. To another story that made it to the front page of the Punch newspaper, and this is a report talking about import duty. Bank plane grounded as federal government clamps down on private jets. The federal government, through the Nigeria Customs Service, has grounded a United States registered Gulfstream G650ER jet belonging to a leading Nigerian bank, signaling the commencement of the government's clampdown on private jet owners over unpaid import duty running into several billions of naira. The development came barely 2 weeks after the NCS began a 1-month verification exercise for private jet owners in the country. The exercise, which began on June 19, 2024, is expected to end on July 19, 2024. And a public notice by the Customs. The exercise aims to identify private jet operators that have illegally imported aircraft into the country without paying the necessary import duties. The custom had recovered about 2 billion naira into the government's coffers when a similar exercise was carried out in 2019. At least 80 private jet owners are expected to present their import documents and aircraft certificates of registration to the customs in Abuja during the 1-month exercise. Although the grounding of the private jet, which fails to pay the necessary import duty, is expected to begin after the 1-month custom verification exercise, findings show that moves by some operators to export their aircraft might have forced the NCS to begin the clampdown on some private operators. For details, do well to pick a copy of the Punch newspaper. And the headline says, import duty, bank plane grounded as federal government clamps down on private jets. That's on details. It's in the Punch newspaper. Another story in the Punch newspaper, and the federal government still speaking here. The headline says, litigation, federal government withdraws 5 oil blocks from 2024 bid round. As investors begin registration for the 2024 licensing round, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission has removed 5 oil blocks from the ongoing licensing round due to legal disputes. The 5 oil blocks are said to be under various litigation. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission confirmed the development. The affected assets are PPL 3008, PPL 3009, PML 51, PPL 267, and PPL 268. And it was reported earlier that the 5 blocks were among the 12 initially announced by the NUPRC Chief Executive Benga Komolafe at the Miami International Roadshow for the 2024 licensing round hosted by the NUPRC in collaboration with the Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria and the TET Advisory Consulting. The 12 oil blocks initially listed were by Komolafe were PPL 300 CS, PPL 301 CS, PPL 3008, PPL 3009, PPL 2001, PPL 2002, PPL 51, PPL 267, PPL 268, PPL 269, PPL 270, and PPL 271. However, while announcing that the assets on offer would be increased, the NUPRC said 5 others were removed because of legal disputes. Details is still in the Punch newspaper. Do well to pick a copy. And it says litigation, federal government withdraws 5 oil blocks from 2024 bid round. Don't forget you can join the conversation. The number to call is 090-5696-9961. 090-5696-9961. You can also head over to our Facebook page at Erie 96.1 FM Ibadan. Still with the Punch newspaper, and the final story I will be taking from the Punch newspaper says Lagos Calabar Highway South-South section begins August as federal government suspends new roads. The federal government has commenced the construction of the South-South axis of the Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway just as it suspended new road projects. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, declared that the federal government would not embark on any new road projects in 2025, citing porosity of fund. He said this during the stakeholders' engagement on the proposed alignment for Section 3A, 38 kilometer of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, which took place at a venue in Calabar on Sunday. The stakeholders' engagement was a follow-up to the one held earlier on Saturday in Akwa Ibom. The minister explained that the federal government would rather concentrate on inherited projects and the 3 legacy road projects of the renewed hope agenda of Bola administration. Also, the legacy projects, which includes the Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway, a 1,000-kilometer highway connecting Sokoto to Badagry, passing through 7 states and connecting to the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway at the Amadu Bello Way, Lagos. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, a 700 kilometer coastal highway connecting from Lagos State to Cross River State through 8 states, and the Calabar South East and North Central Abuja 477 superhighway connecting Calabar to Ebonyi, Benue, Kogi, and Nasarawa State, and terminating at Akwa Abuja. That's the legacy project there. And he explained that construction works at the Calabar end of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway would commence in August. The minister also reiterated the ultimatum issued to contractors handling government road projects that they either sit up or lose their contract. Speaking during the presentation of the route of Section A and the Trans-African Highway traversing Cross River through Ebonyi, Kogi, Nasarawa, and Abuja, the minister expressed dismay at the slow pace of work on the Akwa Ibom Cross River Calabar Itu section awarded to 3 contractors. He warned contractors would think it was business as usual when handling government projects that the old order had changed, insisting that no amount of lobby would save them if they failed to perform. He reiterated the resolve of the Tinubu administration to complete all inherited road projects and the 3 legacy road projects under the Renewed Hope agenda. He added that other projects related to the 3 legacy projects will be assessed to know the extent of work and what's needed to be done, what is needed to be done. Well, there's more to the story. You may crave the support of relevant stakeholders so that the work can go as scheduled. Well, I'll pick a copy of the Punch newspaper. The headline says, Lagos-Calabar Highway South-South section begins August as federal government suspend new roads. Details is all in the Punch newspaper. Now we'll go on another break on the morning rush. When we come back, I'll be bringing other newspapers for you. And don't forget, 090-5696-9961 is the number to call or send in a text message to. I've received the text right now. I will take it later on during the course of the program. 090-5696-9961 is the number to call. Or you can head over to our Facebook page at Erie 96.1 FM Ibadan. I will be going on a break right now. When I come back, the morning rush continues.
This your man Flo Rida.
Hey, what's happening? This your homie Plies, man.
Hey, yo, what's poppin', man? It's your boy Bow Weezy, man. Check it out.
This is Ed Sheeran.
Hi, I'm Charlie Puth.
Hi, this is Paul McCartney.
Your systems are offline.
Tune in to Erie 96.1 FM, the majestic station that rules the sound waves. Join us.
Ìpàdé àdúrà ńlá ọlọ́dọọdún ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gádàrà 2024 ó dàpọ̀ mọ́ bẹ́táìdà 123 oṣù keje July.
ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gádàrà 2024 ó dé. ìpàdé àdúrà ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kan lọ́dún tó máa ń mì gbogbo ìlú jìgìjìgì ní ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gádàrà. I must be free làkórí ìtọ́dún yìí o. èrò kẹ̀tíkẹ̀tí ó ní ní ṣe bí ọba níbi tọ́lọ́run ti ń jẹ́rìí ara ẹ̀. ara ọ̀tọ̀ tó ní ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gádàrà tọ́dún yìí o. ó dàpọ̀ mọ́ pàdé àdúrà olóṣooṣù ni. bẹ́táìdà 123 oṣù keje July ọdún yìí. Monday July 1 ló ń bẹ̀rẹ̀. títí títí wọ Sunday July 7 ọdún yìí. Àṣálẹ́ Friday July 5 ní sóòru ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gádàrà pẹ̀lú apọ́sù. Sunday July 7 gángan ní pàdé àdúrà ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gádàrà. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ láago 8 òwúrọ̀. Ó yá ní ṣebí ọba headquarters. Ṣebí ọba bus stop Gbademu Ìdíòbí airport area Alákíá Ìbàdàn. His Eminence Apostle Dr. S.M.O. Mustapha JP bàbá ṣebí ọba lólùgbàlejò àgbà. Agbára ìràpadà máa mú wọn náà ṣebí ọba. Wàá gba ìtúsílẹ̀ pátápátá. Jésù retí rẹ̀ máa bọ̀ kájọ pàdé níbẹ̀.
It's vibes on Erie 96.1 FM. We have the king.
You are locked into Erie 96.1 FM, the majestic station that rules the sound waves.
Erie 96.1 FM. We have the king.
African King.
In the heart of Africa, where the sun's golden rays illuminate the vast landscape, a kingdom of pride and heritage awaits. Welcome to the realm where royalty thrives, where the spirit of kingship echoes through the ages. Discover the majestic allure of being a king. This is Erie 96.1 FM. We are the king.
Welcome back from that short break. You're still listening to Erie 96.1 FM, Erie 96.1 FM. And don't forget that we are opposite the Nigerian Television Authority at Goody Gate, Ibadan. We are live on Facebook at Erie 96.1 FM, so do well to head over to our Facebook page at Erie 96.1 FM. You also can be a part of the conversation. What do you think about what is happening in Nigeria? So in Nigeria, Labour urged to declare nationwide strike. The Campaign for Democratic and Workers' Rights (CDWR) is called on in electricity tariff. According to CDWR, Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) and Trade Union Congress of Nigeria (TUC), as the next step in the minimum wage struggle, should declare and mobilize widely for a 48-hour general strike and mass protest to demand a minimum wage not less than 200,000 naira and the reversal of all anti-poor policy, that is privatization, regulation, subsidy removal, and electricity hike, amongst others. In a statement by its National Publicity Secretary Chinedu Busa, the CDWR recalled that NLC and TUC had been at loggerheads with the federal government and private sectors over a new minimum wage, and negotiation had been deadlocked for over 3 weeks and still counting, saying the government and private sector insistence on paying 60,000 naira provoked the declaration of an indefinite strike, which started on June 3rd, 2024, but was suspended on the 4th of June 2024. The group contended that the mass protest of mostly young people has just forced the Ruto-led government in Kenya to withdraw the IMF World Bank-inspired tax increment policy. This example shows that it is also possible for Nigerian working people and youth to force the Tinubu-led government to reverse the prices of petroleum products, electricity tariff, fee hikes in public schools, and all other neoliberal capitalist policies which would give some immediate respect to most Nigerians. The CDWR calls on the leadership of the NLC and TUC as the next step in the minimum wage struggle to declare, and this time mobilized widely for a 48 general strike and mass protest to demand a minimum wage not less than 200,000 naira. Okay, and however, speaking further, it said that this may forestall needless long negotiation and ensure wages do not fall behind the inflationary rate and poverty line. However, it's noted that we should add that it will require a serious struggle to force the capitalist elites to agree to this and actually implement it, as they will try to take back any concession that have been forced to make. Details, it's all in the Vanguard newspaper. It says minimum wage delay, Labour urged to declare nationwide strike. Another story that made the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, talking about a multinational exit opportunity for domestic industry. This is coming from MAN-DG. The Director General of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, Segun Ajayi Kadri, has contended that the recent exit of some multinational companies from Nigeria offers a golden opportunity for homegrown manufacturers to thrive in the country with proper government empowerment. Ajayi Kadri noted in a media chat that the apparent setback suffered due to the exit of multinationals could be turned into an opportunity by placing the spotlight on homegrown manufacturers by the government empowering the domestic manufacturing sector. Reiterating concerns about the future of manufacturing in Nigeria, the MAN-DG called for clear and decisive action from government to prevent further exits and ensure the sector's growth. Meanwhile, findings have shown that most multinationals that are exiting Nigeria, mostly American and European companies, have been taken over by Asian companies. A public policy analyst, Magnus Onyibe, said the exit of the foreign firms is not bad for the country as being portrayed, noting that many other departing companies are already being replaced. He observed that a pattern has been gradually developing over time without the system noticing. There's more to the story. Do well to pick the Vanguard newspaper. The headline says, multinationals exit opportunity for domestic industries. This is coming from the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, DG, Segun Ajayi Kadri. So yet another story that made the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, talking about a United Kingdom cab driver who confessed, saying, "I still get paid as a civil servant in Nigeria." Despite leaving Nigeria for UK 2 years ago, Sabitu Adams gets paid each month as a junior official at a government agency back home. Adams, who now works as a taxi driver in the United Kingdom, had his name changed by a BBC report to protect his identity. The taxi driver has yet to resign from his job in Nigeria. Adams is one of the thousands of ghost workers, a rampant issue in the Nigerian civil service. Each year, the government carries out biometric verification and reels out numbers represented discovered ghost workers and money saved, but no one is ever announced to have been arrested or prosecuted. Remember the last week, President Bola Tinubu directed that all civil servants drawing salaries from government after relocating should be made to refund the money. Tinubu also ordered that the corporate supervisors and department head be punished for aiding and abetting the fraud while they were in charge. Adams told the news agency that he was not worried about the president's directive because he earned better as a taxi driver in United Kingdom. The cab driver said he did not resign in case he chooses to go back to his job after a few years. Adams was quoting as saying he had an arrangement with his boss in Nigeria, who is a relative. Well, that's an interesting aspect to the conversation. I would do well to call in. What's your thoughts? This is saying, I still get paid as a civil servant in Nigeria. UK cab driver confesses. This is one of the issues, the civil service is still battling with, talking about ghost workers and people who have left the service or who traveled and they are meant to resign, but they've not resigned, but they are still collecting, their salaries and entitlements. What do you think of this? Isn't this like an injustice to everyone at home? If you are leaving a job, if you are not rendering the service in Nigeria, one would expect that you should do the needful by resigning, dropping your resignation letter. But according to this report, this cab driver in United Kingdom still receives salary, is still being identified as a worker in Nigeria, even though he's not in Nigeria, he's not working in Nigeria. That's an interesting report. I still get paid as a civil servant in Nigeria. UK cab driver confesses. What's your thoughts on this? 090-5696-9961. For how long are we going to continue like this? 090-5696-9961. Federal government set to disburse 150 billion naira MSMEs manufacturing loans. The federal government is set to commence the disbursement of 150 billion naira soft loans to micro, small and medium enterprises and manufacturers by the end of July. The Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investments, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investments, Doris Uzuka Anite, disclosed this in a statement through our official X handle. Uzuka Anite said the 60% of the proposed 1 million naira beneficiaries of the presidential conditional grant had received a financial grant of 50,000 naira without repayment obligation in the 774 local government areas of the country. Speaking further, she stated to all applicants of the presidential conditional grant scheme who are yet to be paid, and she appreciates them for their continued patience. The disbursement process is still ongoing, and allocation is about 60% of the 1 million grants. Okay, under the loan scheme, manufacturers can access up to 1 billion naira at a single-digit interest rate of 9% per annum for working capital with a repayment period of 1 to 5 years for the purchase of machinery and equipment. The benefiting manufacturers are those that have been assessed by accredited banks and have met all requirements for disbursements. Details, it's in the Vanguard newspaper. Federal government set to disburse 150 billion naira MSMEs manufacturing loans. Okay, this is the time we go for our final break. Yes, we'll go on another break again. When we come back, I'll move straight to another paper. 090. Okay, before then, there's a call coming through. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Rush. What's your name?
Good morning. Welcome.
Welcome to the Morning Rush. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Concerning the cab driver in UK, what happened is that is what is happening in Nigerian system. I could remember I was a teacher somehow when I want to go to another job. Okay. The headmaster said I should go and be coming to sign and collect the money. That time I was still young, I was not corrupt. So I said, how can I do that? I said, no, that I've gone. I just resign and go. So, all the leaders, those in the department, yes, those who are in the accounting section, those who are keeping records, they know all this. It is them that collect this money. It's still going on. It's still going on. That is what is happening in this country.
Thank you very much for making that disclosure. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. 090-5696-9961. the situation with the car driver, is it still going on? Can you attest to it? A caller just attests to the fact that it's not something that is new. It's been ongoing for a while right now. People have left, they've relocated, but they are still receiving benefits as if they were still in the country. 090-5696-9961. For how long are we going to continue like this? How long is this fraud going to continue? And who is going to put a stop to this? Who is at fault? Who is at fault? Those who traveled but refused to resign, or those who knew they've traveled and didn't implement the right process to stop their salaries? Who are we to blame? Let's go on this break. When we come back, the conversation still continues.
Erie 96.1. 96.1. Erie bringing you non-stop hits.
Reward for today's hits.
And Royal Entertainment. We are the king.
Erie 96.1 FM. We are the king.
And they are still reason.
Ìpàdé àdúrà ńlá ọlọ́dọọdún ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gàdára 2024 ó dàpọ̀ mọ́ bẹ́ńtáìdà 123 oṣù keje July.
ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gàdára 2024 ó dé ìpàdé àdúrà ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kan lọ́dún tó máa ń mì gbogbo ìlú jìgìjìgì ní ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gàdára. I must be free lákòrí ìtọ́dún yìí o. kẹ́tíkẹ́tí oníṣẹ́ bí ọba níbi tọ́lọ́run ti ń jẹ́ yàrá ẹ̀. ara ọ̀tọ̀ tó ní ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gàdára tọ́dún yìí o. ó dàpọ̀ mọ́ bẹ́ńtáìdà olóṣooṣù ní bẹ́ńtáìdà 123 oṣù keje July ọdún yìí. Monday July 1 ló ń bẹ̀rẹ̀. títí wọ Sunday July 7 ọdún yìí. àṣálẹ́ Friday July 5 ìṣòro ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gàdára pẹ̀lú àpọ̀sù. Sunday July 7 gẹ́gẹ́ nípàdé àdúrà ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gàdára. bẹ̀rẹ̀ láago mẹ́jọ wúrọ̀. ó yá ní ṣe bí ọba headquarter. ṣe bí ọba bọ́sọ̀ tó bá níbi ìjọ bí airport area alájà Ìbàdàn. His Eminence Apostle Dr. Esemo Mustapha J.P. bàbá ṣe bí ọba lólùgbàlejò àgbà. agbára ìràpadà máa mú wọn náà ṣe bí ọba. wà á gba ìtúsílẹ̀ pátápátá. ìfúnpẹ̀tì rẹ̀ máa bọ̀ kájọ pàdé níbẹ̀.
Because some things it's not government. Something it's not government. Honestly, it's not government. It's just because how would you be as head of the party? Look at this person as travel.
We're locked into 96.1 Erie FM.
I know those ones that will champion because the government is doing terrible, something terrible. What they are doing in their own department, they won't see it as a problem.
We are the trending station. We are trending station 96.1
This is frightening.
Don't change that.
African king. Nothing is frightening. We are not ready.
In the heart of Africa, where the sun's golden rays illuminate the vast landscape.
And it's not small money they are collecting.
Heritage awaits.
It's not small money.
Welcome to the realm where royalty thrives, where the spirit of kingship echoes through the ages. Discover the majestic allure of being a king. This is Erie 96.1 FM. We are the king.
Not Okodoro. Okay, welcome back from that break. This is still the morning rush. The number to call is 090-5696-9961. 090-5696-9961. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Welcome to the morning rush.
I am Adimola from Ibadan.
Welcome, sir. Go ahead.
Happy New Month.
Happy New Month to you too.
I will go continue to keep you. So concerning the economy and the manufacturing industry.
Yes.
If the manufacturing industry needs encouragement and more forex. So it is time to invest locally, internationally, support manufacturing industries. oil industry and all that.
Okay.
So that economy will improve. So you see, on other sectors,
yes, sir,
electricity and other sectors, you see, at one time, the electricity distribution boards couldn't give line, and it affects manufacturing industry, people and others. But at present, there is improvement. They are performing. So, and there's what to do just to generate power. So the same thing can happen on the food prices reduction. So we are hopeful that the government will reduce the price. And on agriculture, you see, people must have plans because there's what to do on agriculture. So we need food and other things. So people need encouragement, more facility, more equipment, and seeds. And on our securities, people should do the needful. Our security should be equipped in order to tackle these problems.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Demola, for always making your contribution. Thank you so much. Okay, 09056969961. You also can join the conversation on what is happening right now in the country. 09056969961. That's the number to call. I will be reading a text sent earlier by a listener saying, "Good morning, everyone. Happy New Month to you." And okay, thank you so much for the message. It's well received. Thank you for the kind words and the prayers. Thank you so much. Okay. I am with the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, and the story I will be taking says local government autonomy. The federal government urged dragging states to courts. This is said the federal government in its suit against states over local government autonomy. The former presidential spokesperson expressed the position in an interview with journalists on Sunday in Lagos. The former National Publicity Secretary of the defunct National Republican Convention described the government's legal battle against the state for autonomy as needless and unfortunate. According to him, in a true federal system, there are only two component units, the federal and the states. Okay, there's more to the story. Do well to pick the Nigerian Tribune newspaper for details, and it says local government autonomy, federal government are dragging states to court. 09056969961. That's the number to call. 09056969961. Okay, to another report in the Vanguard newspaper. Let me go back to the Vanguard again. And this says, don't be discouraged if men thought reject you. This is coming from Baba Shebioba. His Eminence Apostle Solomon Moses Mustafa admonished believers not to be moved if they are thwarted by the agents of the devil. The general overseer took a sermon from Daniel 7 verse 6, advised believers to hold firmly onto God and avoid distraction from the enemy whose quest is to pull them down, as God is committed to strengthening them to fly high. That is one way to, kickstart the new month and the new day. The word says, believers should hold firmly onto God and avoid distraction from the enemy whose quest is to pull them down, as God is committed to strengthening them and make them fly high. Okay, on this note, we come to the end of the morning rush for this morning. A big thank you to all our callers and to all our listeners. Thank you so much for joining the conversation this morning, and to all our Facebook audience, to everyone that watches live on Facebook and dropped a comment or two. Thank you so much for joining on our online platform. It's very much appreciated. Similarly says, well done. Thank you so much for dropping that comment. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation. Tomorrow is another day. Yes, tomorrow is another day. Join our colleague. My colleague tomorrow on the morning rush, 7 to 8 a.m. Same station, Erie 96.1 FM. Until then, join me by 5 to 6 p.m.